I'm pretty close to nailing your story. Said, hi, my name is so-and-so. My name is Eric. I'm a teacher. I work in the educational system. And you know what? I'm a good teacher. And I'm proud of what I do. But I have to tell you, I'm underpaid for what I'm worth. There's an awful lot of politics in the educational system. No matter how good I am, there's only so much I'm going to get paid. Even if I'm better than some of the other teachers, because they were around longer than I was. They got a little tenure on me. They got a little time on me. I'm a little bit of a slave to my passion, because the system itself knows that I care so much for my students that I'll buy their materials. I'll put in the extra time. I'll grade it when I'm not getting paid. I'll do all these different kinds of things. I'll parent half of these students. I'll do it because it's my passion. The system kind of knows it, and they take advantage of it. So I'm a good teacher, but it has its limitations. Teachers, am I pretty close? Pretty close? Yeah. On the nose? So I found a solution. I found a way that I could stay a teacher, but I didn't have to deal with the politics. I could use my skills, but I didn't have to worry about other people's opinion of how much I could get paid. I could get paid what I was worth. I could set my own hours. I could still have the same satisfaction that I had by seeing a student light up. I still have that same satisfaction without all the other nonsense. I found a solution. It's so amazing. And here's how I feel about the future. Today, I get up not dreading another day of repetition. Same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. I've got variety. I've got a future. I'm living my purpose. I'm helping other people. It's the most spectacular thing ever. My future's so bright now. Before, I was just hanging around waiting for retirement benefits to kick in so I could get out of here. And now I don't even want to retire because I want to help people, but I want to do it on my terms. That's a story, right? Yeah. Teachers, did I get it? Yeah. Am I pretty close? Now, every one of you has a story. Every one of you has a story. You might have struggled. You might not know you have a story. But here's what I want you to do. Now, listen to me. This is a time when posers and amateurs say, this is a good time to go to the bathroom. I want to ask you to do something. Play at 100% with me for a few minutes. Will you do that? Will you play all out for a few minutes? It's really important. So here's, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to find somebody you do not know or don't know well. Find a stranger. And please don't do the let's pretend we're strangers thing. Just don't do that. Come on. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on the power of this. And here's what I want you to do. I'm going to have you get up, and I want you to connect with that person. I'm going to give you 4 minutes. 2 minutes, one person tells the story to the other person, and 2 minutes, that person comes back and tells the story back to you. Okay, you willing to do that? And when I say count down 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I need you to race back, stop talking, race back to your seats and sit down so we can do this on time. Each of you share the story. One does it, and then the other one does it back to the first one. On your mark, get set, go.
You thought I was playing? Huh.
Everybody. All right, sit down quick as you can, quick as you can. Now, give me some observations quickly. Observations. What was that experience like? What did it feel like? The more they talk, the more I want to listen. How many people wanted to hear more? Isn't that interesting? What else? You stumbled a little bit. It was a little clumsy the first time. All right, do you think you get better with practice? All right. A lot of similarities. Isn't it funny how similar we are? Yeah. Following the structure, just having a little structure to tell the story, you know where to start, you know how to finish, it gave you something to work on. What else? Positivity's contagious. Yes.
When she got to the part about what she liked best about network marketing, her whole face lit up, and I could see the
when she started talking about network marketing, her whole face lit up, and she started to see the possibility. She started to feel that passion. What else did you observe? You wanted to help. Isn't that something? How many people just made a little 2-minute instant friend? Weird, right? Now, ladies, you've been doing this for thousands of years. Guys, this is new. This is new for us. A little bit of a challenge. What else did you observe? Yes?
Sympathy and feedback.
Sympathy and feedback. What else? Compassion. Excitement. You need some practice. That's okay. It's okay. Who did you do it with? Was it still okay? She thought it was great. So don't give yourself such a hard time. She thought it was great, even though you thought you need practice. Yes? So simple, right? You got it, just boom, penny dropped. Yes? It's your story, you can't get it wrong. You just tell your story, you get a little structure. Yes? If you want. Or you can say you found a product, you found an opportunity, you can, whatever you want. She asked, do you say you're in a network marketing company right away if you want to? Yes. It was totally real. How many people felt that it was pushy? Anybody? You're laughing. How many people felt like it was salesy, cheesy, hypey? None of the things that typically are associated with the network marketing invitation and an introduction, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Now, I got to tell you something. Of these 4 things, one of the 4 is most important. Background, what you didn't like, solution, and what you feel about the future. One of them is most important. Now, if you know the answer, don't answer it, but here's what I will ask you. I'll do a little poll. Those of you at home, play along. How many people think it's your background? That's the most important, your background. Couple of you. How many people think it's what you didn't like, your dissatisfaction, your pain? Few of you, 5% of you. How many people, it's you found a solution. How many people think that that's the thing? How many people think the most important is how you feel about the future? You're so certain and you're so wrong. And it's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. It's not all of the above. It's not a trick question. The truth is, number 2, what you didn't like is the most important, and I will tell you why. Nobody cares how you feel about the future until they relate to you and your pain. Nobody cares how cool you are and how many facts and figures you know until they know the story of your life. Nobody cares. Now, in most of the world, we've been trained to show weakness equals death. Don't ever show weakness. Never let them see you sweat. Don't ever let them see your pain. Suck it up. Deal with it. Army, is that what they did? The Army way. So when, in this world, in the corporate world, if you show weakness, you could lose your job. Somebody else take advantage of that situation real fast. You share your pain with your boss? Not a good idea. But in this situation, how many people felt like within a couple minutes they could trust this person? Anybody? Wow. And if you have that platform of trust, now you're ready to listen. Remember how the people said, I wanted to hear more. I wanted to help. How would you like it if your prospects wanted to hear more? If your prospects wanted to help you when you did a presentation versus trying to run away? The second thing is the whole thing. The commonality and the pain is what binds us. It's what allows us to connect with another human being. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to do this again. And I'm going to ask you to pick a different person this time. And this time, I want you to push yourself a bit to be more real, maybe than you've ever even verbalized in your life, about the things that have made you unhappy in your life, the dissatisfaction in your background, how it made you feel that maybe you've never said to somebody else, your doubts, your concerns, your fears about that whole situation. Get really raw with what you didn't like. And the rest of it's exactly the same. Shouldn't take longer, should take the same exact amount. But do yourself a favor. Don't cheat. Do it with the same person. You need to understand. You might have thought, well, maybe I just hit lightning in a bottle. I connected with this person and you know, that one just really worked out, but it's not going to work with my prospects. No shot. I want to prove to you that it will. So pick somebody else that you don't know, and I want you to do it again. I want you to feel that it got a little bit more comfortable. We got a little bit of structure. If you need to look up there for a cheat sheet, go ahead and do it. Okay, you have 4 minutes. Be very strict. Ready, go.
You thought I was playing? Huh.
Take a seat, take a seat, take a seat. Quick as you can, quick as you can. All right. Quick question. You've now done it twice.
Yes.
Did it with a little more emotion this time, I hope?
Yes.
Give me some observations.
I got chills after.
You got chills after it. After his story.
I got a little emotional.
You got a little emotional. Anybody have some emotion show up? Some emotion show up? Any tears? Anybody have any tears show up?
Vulnerability works.
Vulnerability works. You can connect with anybody. 2 minutes isn't enough for all my pain. All right, we'll give you 2.5. What else?
First person I spoke to had a very, very compelling heart, like lump in your throat story. I thought, well, I don't have that story.
You don't?
I don't have that story.
You didn't think so, but you were wrong, right?
I have a different story,
Yeah.
and my story's okay.
Yeah, but here's what I will tell you. You have an emotional story too. You have an inspirational story.
Right.
You have an empowering story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You do. And you're going to find some people really, they're confused. It's like, everybody tells me I need my why. You know, I need to figure out my story. I need to have this strong reason, and I don't know what it is. The answer's in your story. And some of you haven't even told it to yourselves.
Right.
You're going through the motions. You haven't even told yourself your story, why you're doing this. What else?
I think I need to write it down.
Whether you write it down or not, once you tell it 10 times, you're going to find your groove. It won't take long as you go through this process. What else did you observe this second time around?
So I think some people are afraid of their stories. You don't know what people are hiding behind in their lives and in their everyday lives. And sharing your story, you never know who it's going to open up and what it's going to bring out of that other person. And it might feel like a routine to you. It might feel like you're really just telling somebody what you do every day, and it's not really that big of a deal anymore because you've done it so many times. But it could really affect that other person.
It totally does.
And change their life.
How many people felt honored that somebody would just listen to your story? Anybody? How many people felt respected that somebody was willing to share their story with you? Isn't that something? Here, let me see your mic.
What it did for me was it took away that sales guy in me. Like,
Yep.
I'm not selling them nothing. I'm just telling them my story.
Yeah.
So it took that feeling away. So I'm not trying to sell you.
Right. Just open up all the doors. I'm sorry? Your story evolves, it changes over time. What else did you learn specifically about the difference between this one and the second one? It's easier to bond. It's easier to connect. A little bit of practice. Also, the second time, how many people really improved from the first time to the second time? You feel like you really improved? Just with one practice, one time. How many people feel like you're going to need to have that in your pocket to remember to be able to walk around? A few of you, come on, but you got it already, you know. You got the structure. You don't need the script. You got it. Okay? So understand that if you do this, you're going to have success. If you don't do this, you're going to have failure, and I'm going to prove it to you. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to do this a third time. And before you go, oh, come on, you're killing me. This is what we do, people, for a living. This is what we do. You want to run away from this, I'm going to ask you to do it a lot. This is a big part of what you're going to do 70 times in that 30 days. You're going to start every presentation with, let me just tell you my story to start. One other thing about the story, did you notice that if you went second, you were more willing to be vulnerable and really share because they went first and they shared first, and you're like, oh, okay, you did. I might as well go ahead and tell you the truth. You know what I mean? You notice? All right, this time, I want you to do it again. Stay in your seats this time, though. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this, 1 minute for each of you. And this time, you don't get to do number 1 and number 2. You don't get to do background and what you didn't like. You're forbidden to tell your background. You're forbidden to talk about your pain. All you get to do is talk about the solution that you found and how you feel about the future. That's all you get to do. You got 1 minute each to do that. Ready, set, go.
You thought I was playing? Huh.
Okay. So how was that? Thumbs down? Awkward? Uncomfortable? Salesy? Pushy? When somebody was telling it to you, did you want it to stop? Pointless? Empty? Felt like you were selling? Huh? Impersonal? Right. Yeah, I wanted to stop myself, she said. I didn't want to do it. I was like, this is not, I don't want to do this anymore. Isn't that something? Now understand this. It's the same 3 and 4 that you just did where it was a love fest. That we want to love you. Same 3 and 4. The same words, the same solution, the same feeling about the future, same exact. Wow. Let me tell you something. This is what most of you have been doing your entire network marketing career. You've been telling them about your company. You've been telling them about your product. You've been telling them about the compensation plan. You've been telling them about the timing. You've been telling them about the team. You've been telling them about your goals and dreams, and nobody cares. Everybody wants to run the other way. You wonder why nobody says yes. You just felt why nobody says yes. You understand? How many also felt it was a little awkward, didn't know how to start, didn't know, well, how do I, So my goal is to teach you things that work. What I wanted to prove to you, if you're at home and you didn't do this with somebody else, you didn't get to feel what these people felt, I would ask that you go through this process and practice with a couple friends to be able to feel how it felt. Go through the same exact exercise that they went through, because I could tell you logically about this, but you needed to feel the difference. I wanted you to do it one time and go, that kind of worked. Then I wanted you to do it the second time and go, wow, emotion matters, and we have more in common than we have separate, and I trust this person more because they're more open with me. And then the third time, how empty and ugly it feels when it's just all facts and figures and hype and your dream and you. Sterile. It's a good word for it. But you can fix it from now on. All you have to do, let me tell you my background. Let me tell you what I didn't like. And what about the people who've already done? How do you go fix it to the people who you screwed up? Real simple. Real simple. Let's say you're my sister, and I did 3 and 4 with you, and you're just like, whatever, man. Good luck. Just don't call me anymore on this. I can go to you. What's your name again? Marissa. I can go to Marissa and say, can I talk to you for a second? Sorry if I talk to you for a second? Sure. You know I got started in this business, and I came right over like a little puppy, untrained puppy, and I went a little nuts. Yeah. Right? I was just blah, 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 talking about all that stuff. I didn't know. I was just excited. And I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I know I made you feel uncomfortable. I know it came off as salesy and pushy, and that wasn't my intention. I just didn't know where to go with my ambition on it, and I didn't really know how to share with you what was really important to me. And I don't know if you ever really knew what was going on in my life that led to this. But you know that I've done this and this and this in my background. But what you might not know, because I haven't shared with you and I don't even share with anybody, is here's the stuff that was driving me nuts. And here's the things that was scaring me to death. And here's the things that I just said, enough, I'm not going to do this anymore. So when I found this as a solution, I found it for me. It doesn't need to be for you. I just want you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. You don't need to say yes. You don't need to join. If you do, it would be super fun. I'd love to work with you. You're my sister. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, that's cool too. More than anything, I just want you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I found the solution for me, and I feel better about the future now, right? Yeah. So I just want you to at least know that. I'm not going to be this crazy. I've learned some stuff, and it's embarrassing. I embarrass myself with you. I embarrass myself with some friends. I embarrass myself with mom and dad and the rest of the family. I embarrass myself running around doing all this stuff. But at least now you know. Because I've never shared with you the stuff that drove me nuts in my career. I just didn't want to share it with my sister. But now you know. Okay? So I love you, and if you decide at some point you want to know more about what I do, fantastic. And if you don't, that's totally cool. Our connection is more important to me than any business stuff. That's what I would do.
That's perfect.
Okay?
Well, I feel like having this, like one of my biggest issues and hurdles that I find with myself is word vomiting, because I am so passionate about what I do, and it goes along with the company that I'm with.
Yep.
Outside of network marketing, it could go hand in hand. So for me, I'm so excited, and I want to share all the information to people. I don't want to leave anything out, and that's the hardest thing for me, is to not completely word vomit all over them.
You learned how to do this in 2 minutes, right?
This helps.
You got a little structure.
Yeah, for sure.
The rest of the stuff doesn't matter. No matter what your passion is, let's work on what will give them the best possible result. All right? We got to keep moving. Here's what I want you to understand is just with this one thing, you are now liberated. With this one thing, you are now empowered and equipped. With this one thing, when you get together with a person, you know that it's going to be a great experience, even if they say yes or they say no. You're going to be more connected with them, whether they say yes or they say no. You might tell your story. They might not tell it back. That's fine. It doesn't matter, but they're probably going to, because they're going to be a little bit shocked as to how much you have in common. It's amazing what happens. So here's the challenge I have for you in preparation for your 20 and 30. The challenge I have for you is this. I want you to go tell your story to 100 people in the next 30 days. Is that hard or easy? Easy. It's not hard. Your spouses don't know your story. Your kids don't know your story. Tell it to them. Your parents, your extended family, tell them the story. Let me tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. Go back to your friends, tell them your story. Go to your team, tell your team your story. Go to your upline, tell your upline the story. Get this into practice. Like she had it in practice, she built up a big team, and then she forgot and stopped telling the story, and she just got reminded, oh my gosh, I left out this huge piece of my business. So tell the story. That's the story challenge, right? But it's going to be a big part of what we do in presentations when we go to talk to people during our 20 and 30. And here's all we're going to do in presentations. 1, tell our story. 2, do the thing. And 3, ask some questions. Now you might say, what's the do the thing? What do you mean? Every company has the thing that you do. You already know what that is inside of your company. If you don't, ask your upline. What's the thing? I'm gonna tell the story, share the product. Tell the story, do a makeover. Tell the story, play the video. Tell the story, get on a 3-way call with somebody. Tell the story, get them on a Zoom call. Tell the story, do whatever, do the thing. You know what the thing is, right? Tell the story, do the thing. That won't take that long. 10, 15 minutes, max. Get together, tell the story, do the thing, okay? So that's what we're going to do in the presentation, and then I'm going to teach you some questions that are going to change your life. At the end of the presentation, some questions that are absolutely going to change everything. How do we effectively help a person make a decision? How do we close? How do we get them signed up as a customer or a distributor? How do we do that? Let's talk about how we do that. We do it not with being super experts and being super fancy. We do it with some questions. I'm going to give you some questions just like these 4 things, these questions. I'm a collector of simple things that make big money. I travel around the world looking for simple things that make big money. The formula for telling your story is a simple thing that makes big money. This, at the end of a presentation, most people freeze. They finish the presentation, they go, what did you think? Which is the worst thing you can do. It invites the critic to show up and start critiquing everything like crazy. So what do you need to do in order to be a professional? At the end of the presentation, you've told the story, you've done the thing, then what? Here's what it is. I'm going to give you the questions. Question number 1, what'd you like best of what I just showed you? You told the story, you did the thing. What'd you like best? And they're going to give you an answer. I like the product. I like your passion. That residual income sounds kind of interesting. I like the credibility. It forces them to go in their mind, find something positive that they liked. It's the best question I know of. Immediately following. You have to make this a muscle, though. Immediately following the presentation. As soon as you're done, it's got to really come out. So, you just saw it. What did you like best? I like this, I like that. Okay? They're going to give you an answer. Next question. Let me ask you out of curiosity, on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means you have absolutely 0 interest in doing anything like this. 10 means you totally like to, you'd like to get started right this second. Where are you? Scale of 1 to 10. What are you going to get a lot of? 5s, 6s, 7s. If they say 7, they're joining, for sure. If they say 5 or 6, it's likely. If it's less than a 5, you got some work to do. Okay? You're going to get lots of 5s and 6s. Why don't you get 9s and 10s right away? People don't want to seem easy. You know, they're not going home with you on the first date. Like, no, you got to work for it a little bit there, buddy. So, a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Here's a tip for you. Anything over a 1 is good. What does a 2 mean? It means they're skeptical, they're doubtful, they're fearful, whatever. You got some work to do in order to be able to convince them. It's okay. Fine. I'm not worried about this one exposure. I'm worried about starting a process that will ultimately lead to them making a decision one way or the other. My job is to guide them to the decision. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? They give me some clues. 3rd. And let me explain the monthly income to you. Let me ask you a question, hypothetically. Just off the record, you and me. If you did decide to do something with this company, with this business, part-time, about how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? approximately how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? Everybody's got a number for that. Want to start a business? Not everybody has a positive answer to that. But if you were going to do something like this, part-time, hypothetically, I'm not saying you're gonna, but just play with me for a second. If you're going to do it, how much would you need to earn for this to be worth your time? What are you going to get a lot of? 500, 1,000, 2,000. Sometimes you're pitching 10,000 and they can't even see that, so they just shut everything down. Or you're pitching 500 and they need more than that. So stop trying to guess and assume what they need and ask them. What would be a number that would make this worth your time? They say $1,000. Fantastic. Next question. How many hours a week, realistically, could you commit to developing that $1,000 a month? How many hours a week? I mean, if that 1,000 was real, and you got comfortable with this, how many hours a week could you realistically commit to something like that? What are you going to get a lot of? 5, 10, some 20s. Yeah, they'll give you a number. Wait for the number. Let them give it to you. You don't give it to them. It's very important. Number 5, how many months would you be willing to work those 10 hours a week while you were developing that $1,000 income? How many months would you give it? Okay? So I ask a person, what'd you like best? I like the product. Fantastic. Scale of 1 to 10. Give me an idea where you're at. 1, you have 0 interest. 10, you'd like to do something like this with me. Where are you? Just give me a, what's your temperature? I'm a 6. All right. Let me ask you a question, hypothetically. If you were to do something like this with me in this business, we decided we were going to do something together, how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? You got a lot of other things you could do. What would you need to earn per month in order to make it worth the distraction? Oh, 2,000. Okay. Hypothetically, again, for that $2,000, how many hours a week could you realistically commit to developing a $2,000 monthly income in addition to whatever you got going on right now? So, 10, 15. All right, cool. How many months would you be willing to work 10, 15 hours a week part-time while you're developing a couple $1,000s a month? I give you 6 months. Fantastic. Wonderful. So, if I could show you how to develop $2,000 monthly income, working 15 hours a week, flexible hours of your time, we could do some of this together, and you could develop that over the course of the next 6 months. If I could show you a roadmap to be able to do that, like other people have inside of our company, would you be prepared to get started? You ready to get going? What you're saying is, if I give you everything you want, and I show you how to do it, you want to do it or not? Now, here's the thing. I kind of don't listen to 1 and 2, the answers. They're not really relevant. Somebody pretend to be a super skeptic. It's just like you have 0 interest. Okay? I'm going to use this gentleman. So, Donald, I finished the presentation. I just want you to be kind of negative. Okay? Not like ridiculously, you don't need to be a cartoon, but negative. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I finished the presentation. Donald, what'd you like best about what I just showed you?
I don't know. I guess someday I guess I could earn more money or something.
No, be more negative. Just tell me you hated it.
I would. You know what? This is really boring.
It's boring.
I'm tired of hearing about this stuff.
I'm tired of hearing about it. Cool. So let me ask you a quick question. I think I know the answer, but I'll ask you anyway. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you have 0 interest, and 10, you're ready to do something like this with me. Where would you find yourself right now?
A 0 or 1.
A 0 or 1. Yeah, I totally get it. But now let me ask you something. Just for fun. Now I know you're bored with this, and I know you're a 0 to a 1, and you've told me you have 0 interest. But just for fun, off the record, you and me, hypothetically, if you did decide to do something like this,
I would never do that.
I understand. But if you did, I understand. If you did,
Yeah, I understand.
just play with me for a second.
Okay.
If you did, how much would you need to earn in order to make it worth your time? If you did.
It'd have to be
on a
lot of
monthly
money.
basis.
It'd have to. I wouldn't want to do it. It'd have to be a lot of money.
I understand. Well, give me an idea.
Like, I don't know.
Realistically, some number that would make it worth your time on a monthly basis in order to be able to do it.
Well, to do something I don't want to do, probably about $10,000.
$10,000 a month. Fantastic. So, just for fun, I know you're not going to do it, but just for fun.
Okay.
How many hours a week could you realistically commit to developing a $10,000 monthly income?
Well, I don't want to do it anyway, so...
I know. I understand.
3 hours or something.
3 hours. 3
Yeah.
hours. Can I ask you what you're making now? How much are you earning now?
I don't know. I don't know if I tell you, because you're just going to try to get me to do something. I don't know.
I'm just curious. How, in your job, how much are you making now?
Well, when I'm working...
Yeah, when you're working.
When I'm working, I charge like $70 to $80 an hour.
$70, $80 an hour, so that's about $150,000, $160,000 a year.
No. I can only work...
Oh, so you don't do that full
I can
time?
only work 10 or 15 hours a week at it.
Oh, okay. So you're making $60,000, $80,000 a year.
I'm probably making more like 30.
Oh, like 30,000.
25.
So part time, you want to make 10,000 for 3 hours?
Well, I don't want to do this.
You don't want to do it?
No.
Why not?
Because it's network marketing. I mean, you're just
I understand.
forcing people to do stuff.
No, I'm not forcing you to do it. I just want to know. I really want to know.
Well,
if you did become educated on this, and it was something that you found that you want to do, I'm not asking you to do something you want to do.
Okay.
Let's just assume for just a moment that if you did a little bit more homework, you realize that maybe the preconceptions that you had about the business were not as real as maybe you thought they were. You did a little bit more homework. I helped you kind of guide through it, introduce you to the process a little bit, introduce you to some people. And you ultimately go, you know what? This is for real. This company's for real. Maybe, let's just assume for a second that you got there.
Okay.
And if you got there, then what kind of monthly number would you need in order to make this worth your time? If you got there, if you got to a belief level. I'm not saying you're there, but if you did.
So if I was to do it part-time,
Yeah.
I don't know, like $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month.
500 to 1,000.
500 to 1,000. Approximately how many hours a week could you commit to that?
10 hours.
10 hours. And how many months would you be willing to work 10 hours a week in order to be able to get to that? 6 months. All right, listen. Let's assume for a moment that you got comfortable with the company and the model and network marketing.
Okay.
If I could show you how to develop, for real, $1,000 monthly income, working 10 hours a week, flexible hours of your time, only if you're comfortable, over the next 6 months, if I could show you how to do that, assuming that you got comfortable with the model, would you be interested in taking the next step with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. See what I mean? I'm telling you, all I got to do is just, let's make a couple assumptions. Let's have this conversation. You see what I'm saying? That's an extreme example, and I can still turn that around. See what I mean? You know what you're going to get most of the time? I need $500. I got to take care of my kids' college. I got to get rid of these credit card debt. I got to do this. I got to do that. But the name of the game is ask the questions as a consultant. And then give them the solution to that if it's possible inside of your company. If you can show them how to get the result that they're looking for based upon other people's activities, other people have done it, you could show them the roadmap, then do it. If you can't, you have one of two options. If their expectations are too high, you have one of two options. One is to challenge them, like he said, I want 10,000 working 3 hours. So you can challenge them like, come on, how much you making really? And so you can get a little reality check in the conversation. Or two, you can say, you know what? Nobody in our company has done what you're looking to do, but I'm not going to tell you that you can't do it. I can show you what it would take in order to be able to do it. Just the math, just the compensation, I can show you that. And you can give it your best shot. Maybe you'll break all the records. I don't know. So you can go anywhere you want to go with this. Now, will this take a little bit of practice, yes or no? Yes. Will you get better as you go? Yes. Is it okay to have these 6 in front of you if you're practicing with somebody? Yes. If you sit down and practice with somebody, and I suggest that you do that, is listen. Literally read the questions to them. If you're practicing with a hot market person, just say, okay, I just finished showing you the video. Now I'm supposed to ask these questions. Is it okay if I ask these questions? They say, sure. Okay, first question I'm supposed to ask, what did you like best about the video? They give you the answer. Okay, next question I'm supposed to ask on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, next question I'm going to ask. And you go through the exact process. Reading the questions, and you'll still get the results. You really will. Tell the story, do the thing, ask the questions. That's all you've got to do in order to make your 20 and 30 happen. You've got to fill the funnel in order to be able to go there. But just know that this process will get you results. And it'll be fun. And it'll be comfortable. Okay? Now, there's one other issue when it comes to questions and objections. I'm going to give you a basic course. I'm going to do that in another module. Okay? But I'll cover that so you get clear on answering questions and objections, and you get so you're not worried about it. You're not scared about it. But for this, I want to keep moving. So the results from all of this activity, filling up this calendar, doing all these things, racking all of this stuff, is you're going to get more distributors. You're going to get tons of customers. You're going to impact your existing group. You're going to build your confidence like crazy. You're going to stop being needy. You're going to get the income that you're looking for. You're probably going to rank advance. You're going to move hard by doing this. The impact of this is dramatic. Now let me talk to you for just a moment on how to make sure that you do your 20 and 30. One word, accountability. We're programmed to avoid pain, right? Come up with accountability. How do you ensure that? I'm going to give you some strategies on how you can make sure that you do what you set out to do. Once you put this thing in motion, if you're really serious, first thing I want you to do is I want you to proclaim it to the world. Tell everybody. Tell your whole team you're going to do it. Tell your upline you're going to do it. Send an email to the company owner. I just want you to know, this month I'm going to do it. Go ahead and tell the whole company because I'm doing it. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make you proud. Send them an email, right? Create some accountability. Go on Facebook, tell or send a private message to everybody in your team. Tell the world, proclaim it, get it out there. Get rid of your outs. Don't give yourself any excuses to back out. Okay? That's number one. Number two, create some incentives, some bonuses that if you do it, you're going to earn some money. Do something fun. Create something fun if you accomplish it. If you have somebody else in your company that's willing to do it at the same time, have a competition.
What?
I said you're like a trip to Hawaii.
Oh.
Let's have a competition. Get 10 people in your company. Everybody throw in $500 each. First one to get to 20 gets all of it. Why not? It's $5,000, extra $5,000 bonus. Whoever gets there first, done. I'm in. Right? Wouldn't that help you? Create some accountability? Get your friends and family on board pushing you to this goal. Get a workout partner that will push you to this goal. This needs to become so all-encompassing that it's all you talk about. It's all you think about. You want to become a master at this? Find a friend who's willing to do this and just don't stop talking about it. Brainstorm, mastermind, figure it out, solve problems, share ideas, push each other. Create a little support system in order to be able to make it happen. Create some penalties if you don't. If you don't do it, create some penalties. Put some teeth into it. I had one guy that I knew that took the mattress out of his house and slept on the hard floor until he got his 20 done. Every day, just to remind him, I'm sleeping on the floor because this is my dream. As soon as he got the 20, put the mattress back in. We went to a hotel room, he slept on the floor and left the bed made. Just because, you know what, he reminded himself that he deserved it. Maybe you need to turn off some of the things that is a passion for you, a side passion. You hold yourself back from having that until you get your 20. Anybody like Game of Thrones? Anybody like Game of Thrones? Don't want to admit it. Whatever it is, the NBA, anybody like the NBA? Anybody like the NFL, football? Anybody like watching soccer? Anybody, whatever you like to do. Maybe say, I don't get to do any of that until I get my 20. I don't get to watch a single game until I get my 20. I don't get to go to that stuff until I get my 20. I don't get to go eat out until I get my 20. I'm brown bagging it. Until I get my 20. See what I'm saying? Be the boss that you don't have. Push yourself to make this happen. You understand? Accountability here is something that you need to create, but create a bubble around you, an incubator, support system that'll force you to do it. You got it?
Yes.
You have some ideas?
Yes.
Yes? Do me a favor, those of you that are watching this at home, put the ideas inside of theirs. Let's share it with everybody. Let's learn together, okay? All right, you're going to make this happen. Accountability is critical. I will tell you very briefly, what are you going to do with these 20 people once you bring them in? The key thing I want you to focus on, during the 30 days, don't spend a lot of time. Just get them in, get them connected. Speed, 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 speed. Don't slow down with the one that is super needy. You got to get the 20 done. But then, once you bring them in, first of all, don't expect that they're going to want to do 20 and 30 right away. Just because you did. Don't expect that. For most people, here's what happens. They get involved, they get acclimated, they get comfortable, they get moving, and they slowly build up a little belief and then say, okay, now I'm going to hit it. You hear about some people who get off to quick starts in network marketing businesses sometimes. It's because they start with a belief immediately. Maybe they've had some previous experience, and that experience gives them belief to go act right away versus testing the water, stepping along. But either way, give your people, what I want you to do with every one of the 20 is plant the seed. At some point, I want to help you get 20 people in 30 days. When you're ready, I want to help you get 20 people in 30 days. You let me know, because that's going to change your life. It changed mine. Okay, so plant the seed in their minds. and then get them started effectively. And the best way I know to explain that is a concept called over the line. What you want to do with all of your 20 new distributors is there's a line. On one side of the line, it's easier to quit. On the other side of the line, it's easy to stay. And what you want to do is move your brand new people into the easier to stay column. And you're going to do that in a getting started process of helping them get connected on the product, helping them, getting them to an event, helping them rank advance, helping them get a commission check, all the different things that you know how to do that's going to build their belief and confidence in the business and in you. And having planted the seed that you're going to help them do 20 and 30, this is just a simple way to think about how you're going to get those people started, okay? So that's what you're going to do with those 20 people. You got it? This has been a journey, huh? Isn't it something? Here's one thing I want you to know. You can do this. You can do this. The 20 and 30 can happen for you, and it will change your life. And you're going to be proud of you. Other people are going to be proud of you. People are going to be in awe. Some of you have been hanging around your company for a long time. Nobody's expecting much from you. And all of a sudden, you're just going to bust out, and they're going to say, what happened to her? What happened to him? I didn't expect anything out of him. He was part of the Walking Dead. And look, he brought in, did you hear? Did you hear? I remember seeing Jim Rohn, Eric, if you keep working on your skills, if you keep working on your ability, there's going to come a time, son, when you walk into the room and they're going to say, there he is. That's the guy. And I didn't quite believe it, but I liked the sound of it. And sure enough, later on, after having faced my fears and done some stuff, when I walk into the room sometimes, people go, hey, there he is. That's the guy. Now, here's the thing. This isn't about me, it's about you. Here's the thing. You do 20 and 30, and people are going to say, there she is. That's the girl. She brought in 20 people in 30 days, totally revolutionized, broke all the records. The whole company's talking about her. There he is. That's the guy. He's the one exploding and building that market in that other city that nobody thought that was buildable in that city. But he brought in 20 people in 30 days. That's the one. Let's go see if we can get a picture. They're going to say that about you. And I've got to tell you another thing. Here's something you have to look forward to. Someday your critics today are going to brag about how they met you. They're going to tell other people, oh, let me tell you how I met them. Oh, yeah, they're my very close friends. Your biggest critics are going to brag about the fact that they know you. Why? Because you did this thing. What I want to ask you to be, I understand 20 and 30 is not a reasonable thing, but nobody who's changed the world was a reasonable person. I want you to be unreasonable with yourself. I want you to be unreasonable in your expectations. I want you to be outrageous with your vision. I want you to be a champion inside of you, the best you, even just for 30 days, the best you that's possible for 30 days, the most fearless you for 30 days, the biggest champion in you for 30 days. Who's willing to, I'm not saying right this second, but you will gather your strength like a storm It will gather and gather and gather. And when that moment happens, that 30 days happens, you're going to unleash every ounce of passion you have inside of you. How many people are going to make that happen? Raise your hands, please. Yeah? All right. So here's the thing. You're worthy. You're deserving. You deserve this. And you're capable. You can do it. You've got this. Is there anything that you need to know in order to be able to make 20 and 30 happen now? No, there's nothing that you need to know. All you got to do is what? Make a decision. Make a decision. Just decide. And will you do me a favor? When you do your 20 and 30, when you accomplish it, will you let me know? Will you tell me your story? Yes. All right. Well, I'm your biggest fan. I am your biggest. I'm going to tell the world about your commitment. Going through this course, making the commitment. I believe in you, and just know that no matter what anybody else says, you've got at least one person that's got your back and believes that you're going to make it happen. I love you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.